Hi, I'm Paul.
And I'm Stefanus.
And today we'll be talking about university life in the US and in Asia.
So, what are those questions? Let's take a look. So what about in the US?
I think in the US, yes, there are a lot of fraternities, sororities. Like depending on like which university you go to, then you do see a lot of that. Like a lot of partying, a lot of drunkenness. So like a lot of the things that you actually see like in Hollywood, like in cinema, like that's all true. But it's usually not that rampant. Like not everyone participates. But if you do want to like have that sort of like Greek life, and there are also like different kinds of Greek life. Like I remember I was almost recruited by a Greek fraternity that specializes in Christianity.
So it's not all about party, guys.
Yeah, it's not all about party. So not just like spirit, like alcohol, spirits, but also the Holy Spirit. I don't know. So so there are also different kinds of fraternities, sororities. So it's not all about partying, but if you are looking for that kind of community, then like that does exist.
Right. Yeah, I think.
What about Asia?
Like sororities and fraternities are mostly like US kind of stuff. Yeah.
Did you join any club while you were in university?
Yeah, I did. I actually, I joined this volunteering club, and usually there's this kind of like events, like for example, student orientation for the freshmen.
Because the country is represented by the different animals.
Right. Actually, it's more about like just basically because I studied in Singapore, so basically it's just a way to experience Singapore, probably. And that's basically the place that they chose. I think in Asia, you definitely there's a place for students who are interested in sports. But again, I think the inclination is towards like more academics. But then like I'm sure like in Asia there's a lot of clubs or organizations that focus on sports. Even though like I guess it depends on the country itself whether sports that you choose really like something big in that country, because if not, then it's basically like it's just a place for you to have other stuff that you do outside of academics. So I feel that in Asian universities, sports probably like something that it's good that if you can join different clubs on sports. And even if there's competition, that could also be great. But I would say like maybe not as big. There is no specific pathway, like if you're an athlete, for example, if you go for Asian universities to choose that path. Because again, like maybe Asians is more oriented towards the academics.
But there are also like different ways of living. I think there are like different ways of managing your money as well. Because so when I was in the States, I remember like some of my friends, they're just like different kinds of communities. There's like one community that would go for like boba every weekend, and like in front of the boba store, like you can see all like luxury cars, just like parked right in front of it. So there are of course like people with means to be able to afford like that sort of lifestyle, and there are also people who basically work like 2 different jobs, and like they always cook at home, cook in batches, to also sort of like support that sort of lifestyle. So I think depending on how you want to interpret that question, yes, in a sense, you do have to make sure that you secure enough fundings, but like don't think that like you have to live like very, very luxuriously. There are different ways to save and different ways of like affording your university education.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. If you choose a university that use English as the primary language for the instruction, then I would say it's not necessarily like imperative for you to learn the local language. But again, if you want to have a more enriching experience, I think that would be very useful if you learn the local languages. Like for example, in Singapore, when you go out to the the hawker center, like there are some aunties that sell the food, and usually some of them they cannot speak English. Sometimes they can only speak in the very local language like Hokkien, for example. So if you learn about Hokkien, then it's easier for you to communicate with the auntie, and perhaps like if you have friends like the local friends, it would be very easy for you to connect with them if you're able to speak in their language. Even though like maybe in university setting you probably would still use the the primary language like English, for example. But then it never hurts to actually learn about the local language, because again it's very useful for you to if you want to have like a wider set of network of friends, I think learning local language would definitely be useful. Okay, but again you have to learn the language like maybe through your friends, because usually the local language is not not imperative, not compulsory for you to master that. But if you can, there's no harm of doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think being able to speak another language or just learning languages can be a very enriching experience. I remember just like going like like buying food at like taco trucks, and being able to speak like a smattering of like Spanish. You usually get like better services, and people actually get really happy, and that you actually took the care and effort to learn a little bit of their language.
So it actually fosters better connection with the people there. And I think if you want a more enriching experience, definitely like learning the local language would be excellent. So that's it. We hope that you get all the insights and glimpse of studying in both US and Asian universities.
Yes, and so if you're interested in going to the US or Asia for your university, please come talk to us about our University Admissions Mentoring Program. And you can check out more info in the link in the description below.
So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye-bye.
Bye.